Hello and welcome back to another video, and today I have an absolutely epic post-BANLIST Sky Striker deck profile. The BANLIST released Engage to 1, so the deck has a significant power boost in the form of Engage, and Engage is an insanely powerful card. So without further ado, be sure to smash like button and comment down below what you guys think of Sky Striker in the brand new format with the new BANLIST. And yeah, let's get right into the video. Alright, first off we have triple Sky Striker Ace Ray. Ray is the best Sky Striker normal summon, and in general just Sky Striker monster, because as a quick effect you can tribute it to special summon the Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck, and then if a Sky Striker Ace Link monster in your extra monster zone is destroyed while it's in the graveyard, you can just revive it, and it's a quick effect so you can use this in the battle phase and whenever. And why this is so good, you can also chain this to Area 0, so you can go with the classic combo, Chainlink 1 Area 0 on the Ray, and then Chainlink 2 Ray tributing itself, so your Area 0 will resolve, and you will get basically a better, you'll get a lot of advantage. Next up we have double Sky Striker Ace Rose. Rose is definitely a worse card than Ray, but it is a mandatory 2 of it in the deck. Strong because it's a great extender when you need it, and when you're trying to push for game it works. And also sometimes if you don't have access to Ray, you really need access to your Link monsters, so you want to be able to have access to Rose at least. The deck has gotten a massive consistency boost with Sky Striker Ace Mobilize Engage though, which is very good. Triple Effect Veiler. So Effect Veiler specifically is the hand trap of choice over here, because it gives you access to Celine because it's a spellcaster, and Hal because it's a tuner. And then you have access code obviously for the going second combo, which I think is very well known. I am playing a going first build, so you see that I'm not running as many hand traps, but in the side deck these are all hand traps you guys can side in game 2 and 3. Next up we are on to the spells. Now this is where things get a bit more exciting. We have one Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. So I'm just going to read this card for you guys. I'm sure you guys already know what it does, but it's such a good card that I have to just say it again. Basically, if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can add one Sky Striker card from your deck to your hand, except Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. Then, if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can draw one card. Let that sit for a moment. So what does this actually do? You get to search a card, and then you get to draw a card. It's very self-explanatory, but the thing is about this card, it's so good with the amount of advantage and the spells that it gets you into grave, because it in itself, if you have 3 spells in your grave already, it gets you first of all another spell in the grave, so you can add one off Kagari and still have 3 in the grave. It gets you a draw one, and it gets you a search. So this is very powerful, obviously, because a search alone is a very good thing, but a search and a draw becomes a bit too absurd. I don't know why Konami put this back at 1, to be honest. I did not want this to come back, because this card is broken. We have one Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones. Hornet Drones is a great extender. Once again, you want to have access to your Link monsters. So if you don't have access to Ray or Rose even, with all of your searchers, you have access to Hornet Drones at least, which you can link off, make your Kagari, and so on, and then you just have full combo. Triple Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor. The deck is so close to full power, literally just unlimit the 3 cards, so it won't happen though. But you know, Widow Anchor is very powerful. This is your main form of interaction with your opponent other than your trap cards. It basically negates card, and if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can just steal the monster, which is very powerful. Now, Widow Anchor, I think, is a great 3 of, and if you see multiples, that's not even bad, because it's not once per turn, and Engage, even if you have 2 in your hand, Engage will search you like a 3rd if you really need it, or a Shark Cannon or something. Engage is a great card, and clearly so is Widow Anchor. It's a mandatory 3 of in any Sky Striker deck. Triple Sky Striker Mecha Shark Cannon. Now, Shark Cannon is insane, and I believe it's heavily underrated. Basically, you can target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, and you can banish it. So, against Outlook, for example, you can banish your Outlook, and they're basically screwed unless you have access to more. Or, and against, like, Tri Brigade, for example, you can banish one of their materials, and then they don't have enough materials to summon Bear Bloom, etc. But, Shark Cannon can also, if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, summon it back to your side of the field, which is very powerful as an extender. Two Sky Striker Maneuver Afterburners. Afterburners is just spot removal, and if you have 3 more spells in your graveyard, it also pops a spell and trap, which is very powerful. We have one Sky Striker Maneuver Jamming Waves. This is the same thing as Afterburner, just worse because it pops a spell and trap, and then if you have 3 or more in your graveyard, it pops a monster. Usually the Afterburners comes up a bit more, which is why you're running 2 Afterburners and only 1 Jamming Waves. 1 Sky Striker Mecha Module is a multi-roll. Multi-roll is insane. You can recycle your Engage, you can recycle your Widow Anchors and stuff. Multi-roll is such a broken card, and for the longest time it was heavily underrated until Engage got banned. Then people realized how good this card is. And yeah, multi-roll is just insane, and it really is one of the main pieces of the deck. Double Sky Striker, Area Space, Area 0. Now, Area 0 is a very, very good card. Basically, you can target one other card you control that it does not have to be a Sky Striker card. Then you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you add one of the excavated Sky Striker cards from them to your hand. Then you shuffle back, and then you send the card you targeted to the grave. Now, why this is good? First of all, it adds you a Sky Striker card. Next, we have Ray. So if you target Ray, you can chain the Ray, sending itself, making your Kagari or something. And then Area Space 0 still resolves because it just had to target for cost. The monster doesn't have to physically stay on the field, or the card doesn't have to stay on the field. It just has to target for cost. So Area Space still resolves, and so does Ray, which is just so much advantage in a single turn. Double Mystic Mine. Yeah, this card is very unfair, but it is very powerful, and it definitely is justified at running it in this deck. It's a very good card. One-Sided Universe. Now, this card is, a lot of you might remember this from Silent Sky or Universe Sky Strikers. This is basically another form of multi-roll because it can shuffle back a monster in your grave to the deck. This might be a bit weird to you guys, but in testing, this card is just so broken, and the plus 300 on your Link monsters actually does come up like quite a bit, more than you would think. I do really like having the One-Sided Universe in the deck, and I do think that people should consider running this, and if you don't want to run it, that's perfectly fine, just throw in another Sum Limit or something. But this card, in my opinion, is just great. One, Terraforming. You can also run a set rotation. I just want Terraforming in here, and I didn't really have space for the set rotation. You can see I even started cutting down to 2 of the trap cards because I didn't have space. But yeah, Terraforming is a very good card, and you have 3 targets in this deck, so Terraforming is very versatile, and at the very least, a great Ash bait. Triple Pot of Desires. Desires is one of those cards you either go all in or you don't even go in at all. You need to go with 3 Desires. Otherwise, not only is it mathematically incorrect, it's just bad. Desires is a great card though in this deck. It banishes 10 and then you just draw 2. Only thing that sucks is if you banish like your Engager all through A, but that being a 1 of and this being a 3 of, it won't really happen. And if it does, you know, you have a lot of cards to grind it out. One, I don't know why I keep on doing this. 1 of Reinforcement of the Army. Obviously, it's limited. This card is great. It just searches your Array and your Rose, and that's basically it. Just very simple, just another searcher. 1 Upstart Goblin, making this a 39 card deck. You can cut this for the set rotation, or you can also cut this for another Sum Limit, or a Judgment, or a Strike. Very up to you, but this card is great. It gives you a free spell in the grave and stuff. I do quite like this. Double a Solemn Judgment. Solemn Judgment is insane. I don't need to explain this. It's a negate. That's it. Literally a negate. And there's nothing. It's just really good. Just play Solemn Judgment, please. Double Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is arguably even better than Solemn Judgment because it can negate monster effects, but it can't negate spells and traps. So having both is just very, very powerful. If you open both of these in like Array or an Engage or something, you literally win. There's no way you're losing that game. Triple there can be only 1. Takobo obviously screws over your opponent, and it screws you over too, but not as hard, which is the key piece. It's very good in Sky Striker because of this fact. So basically, it just completely destroys most decks of the format, and then if you make like a Hayate, you can just attack directly, beat down, and that's the game. It's very easy, and Takobo is just a great card. Double Sum Limit. After your first turn, and even during your first turn, well, no, after your first turn, you're really not summoning more than like twice, because in the first turn you summon like 3 times, so you know, Sum Limit's just a great card, and once again it kills literally half the combo decks ever, and it's just a great card. Onto the extra deck, we have 1 Axis Code Talker to go with our Selene and Hulk. We make this with our effect Veiler, very simple and very powerful. 1 Hida, obviously Hida is a great card, and I just realized that I'm not running a fire monster in the main deck. That is my mistake. What I meant to say is, so basically you have Ash in the side. This is a loose extra deck, so you can side in the Ash and then make the Hida. It's weird, but you can also main the Ash. Like, you can throw in the Ash, cut the Upstart, and then maybe you can knock down... to be honest, the main deck is very tight. Maybe take out a Takobo, run another Ash or something. But Hida is a good card that I do think you guys should be running. In general, just Hida is a great card. So, yeah. That's basically that. Also, if you steal your opponent's stuff, it's pretty nice. Triple Sky Striker is Kagari. Kagari is a great card, obviously, if it's summoned. You get to add back a Sky Striker spell or trap. I'm moving so much this thing, I'm so sorry. You get to add back a Sky Striker spell, and why this is so good, if you have Engage in your grave or something, you can loop the Engage. It's not once per turn. If you have Horned Drones or Widow Anchor, all that, you can just send stuff, even with Hayate, and just add it back with Kagari. Kagari is a great card. Triple Sky Striker is Shizuku. Shizuku is also amazing during the end phase. It's just a searcher, and if there's one thing we know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that searching is absolutely insane. Triple Hayate. Hayate attacks your opponent directly, and that's really good with the beatdown, and on top of that, it just sends a Sky Striker card from your deck to the graveyard, which is very powerful. One Kaina. Kaina, each time you activate a Sky Striker spell card or its effect, you gain 100 life points. There's nothing like winning with Kaina in time, and it comes up so much. I feel so bad for all of my opponents who lost it with Kaina in time, but I lost with Kaina in time too, and I can tell you firsthand it sucks, but if you're doing it, it feels great because it works every single time. One Zeke, Zeke is insane. It's the only link to Sky Striker, and it literally just banishes a card your opponent controls, a face-up monster your opponent controls. It's a very good card. Onto the side deck, triple Lancia, triple Droll, triple Ash. All these are options. If you're going second, you can side all of these in, take out the traps, have a nice day, you are winning. Triple Twin Twisters for the back row decks, you know, just, hey, pop 2, feels great. Double Dark Ruler no more for all those common decks. Yeah, and finally One Road Reboot once again for the trap decks. And that's basically it for the deck profile. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smash like button and comment down below what you guys think of the brand new ban list and the brand new Sky Striker deck. And of course, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Alright guys, peace.